morning. It's Saturday, May 23rd. We are going to be doing a feel good morning flow. So that just means that we're going to be doing all the things that feel really good in the morning after just waking up. And it's going to be a combination of yin and yang, or yin and vinyasa yoga. So that just means we're going to start off slow in the beginning, hold a couple postures for a few minutes, and just slowly wake the body up, and then we're going to get into more of an energizing yang portion of the class after that to fully wake us up and get us moving and grooving for the day. So you're going to need blankets, pillows, all of that good stuff. So gather as many props as you can. And we're starting on our back in Shavasana. So that's just lying down on our back in a corpse position. So that just looks like down on our backs like this. So if this is a little bit difficult for your low back, you can just bend the knees and take your soles of your feet out wide and your knees knocking together if this is difficult for your low back. But otherwise, we're going to start here all the way on our backs. And arms are at our sides to start, with the palms facing up. Go ahead and lift your shoulder blades off of the mat and then pull them together underneath you. So that you have a nice wide open chest and collarbones. And start to take some deeper breaths. See if you can match the length of your inhales, the length of your exhales, so that it's this long sort of wave-like breath, ocean wave, coming in and out of your nose. And taking this time to mentally scan the body and notice if there's anywhere this morning that feels a little bit tight, a little sore. Maybe you're nursing an injury, maybe you're some sore muscles. Just making a mental note of all of those places that you're feeling something, feeling anything in. And keeping that mental note throughout the class, knowing that at any point, if you start to feel pain, you can back out of whatever posture that you're in. Take a deep inhale breath through the nose, and as you do, start to reach your arms overhead. Maybe you clasp your hands and just pull yourself upward and stretch your body in opposite directions. Flex and point your feet. Roll out the wrists. Just a nice little good morning stretch in opposite directions. And then keep your hands up where they are. You're going to start to take your ankles and your legs and your feet out towards the right side of your mat, and then cross your left ankle over your right. And then you're going to do the same thing. We're keeping our torso and our pelvis exactly where it is, but you're going to do the same thing with your arms. You're going to take your arms all the way toward the right side of your mat, and then cross your or grab your right wrist with your left hand. I'm sorry, grab your left wrist with your right hand. My bad. So we're just opening up the left side body, keeping our pelvis as it is, and just taking our legs and our arms over towards the right. And as you breathe, see if you can send your breath into the left side rib cage. See if you can send it in the left armpit. And then maybe in the left hip. the deeper you breathe, the more opening you can create in that left side body. Take a few more deep breaths here. And then very gently, we're going to start to make our way back to center. So taking our arms up towards the center of our mat, uncrossing the legs, and taking them back towards the center. And just give yourself another little stretch in opposite directions. Once again, point and flex the feet. Then we're going to take our legs towards the left side of our mat. This time we're crossing our right ankle over our left. And then take your shoulders, your arms, and your hands over towards the left. You're going to grab your right wrist with your left hand and just pull that right arm towards the left. This time we're opening up that right side body. So each time you inhale, see if you can create space in the armpit, the right rib cage, the right hip. The deeper the breath, the more benefits you'll get out of each of these postures. Take another round of breath. And gently making your way back to center. This time you're going to draw your knees into your chest and wrap your arms around your knees. Squeeze your knees in towards your chest and just start to make some circles with the knees to massage the sacrum and the low back. And then reverse the direction of the circles, finding your breath. And then you're going to extend your left leg straight out in front of you. Left heel is rested on the mat. You're going to start to trace your left or your right knee across your body over towards the left side of the mat. Take your right arm out wide like a T towards your side. So your right knee is dropping over towards the left side of your mat. And you want to see if you can keep your right shoulder planted onto the mat. And then maybe see if you can, so you can either stay here if this is enough for you, or if you'd like to take this a little bit further, start to bend the left knee, taking the left heel up towards your left glute. And then you can take your right hand and reach down for the left foot. So you get a little bit of a quad stretch there as well. And we're trying to maintain contact with the mat on both shoulders. So the twist is really coming from the low body, the lumbar spine, and the middle of the spine as well. I can't remember the name of it. Cervical, lumbar, thoracic. Thoracic spine. And see if you can pull that right hip down towards the bottom of your mat. So you find a little bit of a length and extension in the spine. Take another deep breath here. And then very slowly, if you have your left foot, release the grip of the left foot. Straighten out that leg. You're going to start to roll back onto your back. And then bend both knees this time. Let me crack my knee there. And then draw both of them into the chest and then just make a couple more circles with the knees. Resetting the spine here, reversing the direction of the circles. And then extending that right leg straight out in front of you. Start to cross the left knee over the body towards the right side of the mat. And then you can take your arm out wide, your left arm out wide like a T, or you can start to bend into that right knee and reach down and grab the foot, a little quad stretch. See if you can take the left hip down towards the mat, the bottom of your mat. See if you can plant both shoulders flat on the mat. And take some deep breaths. Take one more deep inhale. And then as you exhale, slowly let go of the right foot, straighten that right leg, roll back onto your back. Draw both knees in towards the chest. And then you're going to start to rock and roll up and down the spine. We're eventually going to make our way into child's pose. So we're going to rock our way up to a seat first, and then swing our legs out behind us. Come onto hands and knees. Take your knees out wide, and then take your toes to touch together. Sit your hips back on your heels, and then start to walk your hands farther to the front of your mat. Resting your elbows, your forearms onto the mat, and then eventually resting the forehead onto the mat. If your forehead doesn't reach, place a pillow underneath your forehead. And then really see if you can walk the fingertips a little bit farther forward while keeping your hips sinking down into the heels. Just take some deeper breaths. In and out the nose. Extending the spine long and slight decompression. Really take some deep breaths here, feeling the opening and the space that you create in the back body each time you inhale. Take one more round of breath here. And as you exhale, you're going to walk your hands back up to seated on your knees. And then you're just going to sit on one hip and then swing your legs back around in front of you. So we're going to come into a seated forward fold. You may need a blanket or a pillow underneath your sit bones. And I actually recommend, so that you're not hunching over like this, if you feel like you're hunching over and your knees are like all the way up here and it's really hard for you to sit like this, take a pillow and place it underneath your sit bones. So what that allows us to do is tilt the pelvis forward so that the forward fold is a little bit easier, a little bit more comfortable. And then you also, if you'd like, you can also place a blanket underneath your knees. But I'm going to get, and then we're going to, it's going to be, we're going to do a full variation. Okay, so blanket underneath the sit bones or pillow, blanket or pillow underneath the knees if you'd like. We're going to start to reach our arms up, clasp the hands, flip the palms so that your palms are facing up, and just reach up towards the ceiling. Maybe your gaze follows your fingertips. And just find a nice extension of the spine, and take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more time, inhale. And then as you exhale, start to reach your arms forward, letting your upper body follow, we're going to start to tip forward into this forward fold, but we're slowly reaching our arms as far forward as we can, all the way down, eventually unclasping the hands and then resting them anywhere that you like. So they can be on the mat, they can be on your shins, grabbing your feet. But the goal is to get our back, rather than crunched over like this, see if you can maintain that longer, straighter spine. And there is going to be some curve, and that's natural, but we want to work towards that longer, straighter spine. This may be particularly tough in the morning. I think folds are really hard in the morning because we're used to being on our backs or on our sides, and sort of inverted or something that opens up the hamstrings can be a little bit tough in the morning. So just let this be a gentle one to start. And it's even more important here that we take really, really, really slow deep breaths. Very, very slowly with your next inhale breath, start to walk your hands up your legs to come back to an upright seated position. Remove the pillow out of the way, or the blanket out of the way. You're gonna bend your knees and then take your right leg and start to take it out, your knee out sort of this in this half butterfly. So turn face here. So we're our knees bent and we're in almost a cross-legged seated position. So I'm going to take my knee and try to point it straight forward so that my knee is straight forward, my right foot is flexed. And then I'm going to start to take my left leg and cross it over my right. And this may be all that you can do, where you're just, your right knee is facing straight forward, right foot is flexed, and then the left knee is crossed over. If this is enough, this is like you're feeling stretching your outer right hip, and your outer left hip stays here. If you want to keep going, grab your ankle and start to pull your foot backwards to try to line up your left knee right over top of your right. So we want to get our both sit bones flat on the floor with our knees stacked directly on top of one another. Both feet are flexed. If this is, this may be pretty unattainable for a lot of us just because our hips are really tight. What may help is also placing a pillow underneath your right glute. So that allows us to sort of level out the hips. But that's just an option. So you can either stay in just like this modified version with the right knee forward, left leg just crossed, or you can go for the full variation, or you can place the right pillow underneath your right glute. So this is just a hip opener to start. And you can just rest your palms on your ankles or on your feet, wherever it feels comfortable. See if you can sit up straight with a long, straight spine. And start to take those deeper breaths again. And then take one more deep breath here. And then as you exhale, you're just going to rock backwards, uncross your legs, take your legs straight out in front of you and just shake it out. And then you're going to start to bend both legs again. Take your left foot and cross it underneath the right leg. And then see if you can take that left knee straight out or straight forward. Left foot stays flexed. And then see if you can cross that right leg over the left. So it may just look like this. And your left hip may already just be lifted off of the mat. So if that's enough for you, see if you can just plant that right sit bone down to the mat and stay here. If you'd like to go further, see if you can cross the right leg even further over so you can try to line up the knees right on top of one another. You may need that pillow underneath your left sit bone to level your hips. So just find your way in this pose, whatever. And this side may feel totally different. I feel like our bodies are just, they're never the same on each side. So this side may feel a lot different. Just find that place where you can sit and breathe. You keep your feet flexed here. So we want to protect the knees by keeping the feet as flexed as we can. And then find your deep breaths in and out the nose. Take a few more deep breaths here. And then very gently start to rock backwards, uncross the legs. And then swing your legs out behind you. You're going to come onto tabletop position. Fingers are spread wide. And then really quick, we're just going to warm up the wrists really quick. So take your fingers out towards the outer edge of your mat. Your fingertips are facing the outer edge of your mat. And then hips are stacked on top of one another. Or hips are stacked on top of the knees. Shoulders are stacked over the wrists. We're just going to move through some cat-cows with the wrists this way. And then we're going to flip the palms completely. After that, fingertips are facing the knees and do some cat-cows. So from here, you're going to start to drop your belly towards the floor. Lift your tailbone up towards the sky. And then pull your shoulders, shoulder blades together. Pull your collarbones towards the front of your mat. And then tip your chin up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, you're going to start to take your tailbone down towards your knees. Pull your belly in towards your spine.
Press into the palms to puff up the upper back. And then take your chin into your chest. Pull your navel in towards your spine.
Inhale into cow pose. So drop the belly towards the floor. Lift the tailbone, lift the chin, lift the chest. Exhale, round and curl into cat pose. And then you're going to return to a neutral spine. Flip your palms so that your fingertips are facing your knees, and we're going to do the same thing. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin, lift the chest for cow. And then as you exhale, this one may be a little bit more difficult. Just get to where you can here. Round and curl. Inhale into cat for cow pose. And then exhale, round and curl. And then this time we're going to flip the palms completely over so that the tops of our hands are onto the mat. And then you're just going to sit back on your heels, or you're just going to rock back towards your heels so that we're stretching out the forearms and the wrists here. And then we're going to turn to tabletop position. Fingers are spread wide. Walk your hands out. Excuse me. Walk your hands out farther towards the front of your mat. You're going to tuck your toes underneath you. And then just press into the feet to lift the knees an inch off of the mat. Feel the stretch in your feet and in your toes. Pull your navel in towards your spine. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to fully straighten the legs.
Press your chest back towards your knees for downward facing dog. And feet should be hips width distance apart. Start to bend one knee at a time to pedal out the dog. So, and then you want to make sure that your hands are shoulder width distance apart. Fingers are spread wide. Ears are in line with the biceps. See if you can spin your biceps up towards the ceiling and then spin your triceps down towards the mat. So we want to rotate our arms in that direction. Rotate the biceps up towards the ceiling and the triceps down towards the mat. See if you can push out of the hands to lift your hips even higher and create even more extension in the spine. Sink your heels down towards the mat. And they do not have to touch. We're just working our heels in that direction. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Deep breath in. Start to come up onto the tippy toes. And then bend the knees and sit your hips back towards your heels. So we're still on our toes, knees bent. We're in a sort of crouching pose. And then just straighten the legs. And then sink the heels down. Inhale, come up onto the tippy toes. Exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips back. Inhale, straighten the legs. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And then as you exhale, you're going to start to walk your feet forward towards the front of your mat. Take your feet out, hips width distance apart. Bend into the knees and then rest your ribs on your thighs. Grab opposite elbows and just let your upper body hang towards the floor. Let your neck go, let your head go. Breathe deeply here. At the end of your next exhale, release the grip of the elbows. As you inhale, you're going to start to rise just halfway up. So in a halfway lift, our weight is in the toes of our feet, and we're just coming up halfway so that we can find a long, flat spine. So my back is flat here. So I have a long, like a flatter spine here, and then my hands are rested on my shins. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, take your hands into prayer in front of your heart. Bend the knees slightly, and then you're just going to rise all the way up to standing. Take your feet together. Toes are touching. Big toes touching, but heels are slightly apart. Hands are in prayer in front of your heart. See if you can take a soft bend into the knees. Take your tailbone down towards your heels. Pull your low belly in towards your spine. And take your front hip bones forward and up towards your shoulders. Press into the hands so that you can broaden the collarbones. And then take the shoulders down the back. Ribs are pulling together. Take an inhale breath. And exhale out. Inhale, start to reach your arms up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, you're going to hinge at the hips and bow forward all the way down to forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway lift, long flat spine, and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing, arms come up overhead, maybe the gaze follows. See if you can get your biceps next to your ears. And then exhale, hands come through center in front of your heart in prayer. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms come up overhead. And then exhale, hands come through center in front of your heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, arms come up overhead. And then exhale, hands come down through prayer.
Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold.
Inhale, halfway lift.
Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms come up overhead. And then exhale, hands come through center in front of your heart. One more time. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, hinge forward, forward fold.
Inhale, halfway lift.
And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. And then exhale, hands come through center in front of your heart. On your next inhale, we're going to come into chair pose. And you have two options with chair. You can either have your feet hips width distance apart and sit in a squat this way, or you can have your toes touching, heels slightly apart, thighs are squeezing together. So in chair pose, we're going to sit our hips low. Weight should be completely in the heels, so much so that you can look down, see your toes, and you can actually lift them and wiggle them. And then our arms are reaching forward. And we're working to see if we can get our biceps next to our ears. If this is pretty tough on your shoulders, just take your arms out wide like a V. And then see if you can take the dip out of your low back by pulling your navel in towards your spine and pulling your ribs together. So we're drawing our ribs towards the center of our body in together. And again, we're sitting low. Gaze is forward, but not fully up towards the wall in front of us or whatever we're looking in front of us. Take a deep inhale, breath. And then as we exhale, we're going to fold forward.
Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, plant your hands on the mat. Step your legs back, your feet back for high plank. And then two options here. You can either lower the knees, lower down to the belly, untuck the back toes, lift your chest and your shoulders off of the mat for low cobra with little to no weight in the hands. Tops of the feet are pressing into the mat. The pubic bone is pressing into the mat. And then as you exhale, you take your forehead back down, press yourself back to tabletop pose, tuck your toes underneath you, and then press back to downward facing dog. Or you're in high plank position from stepping back. You shift forward onto your tippy toes so that your shoulders are over top of your fingertips rather than over your wrists. Then you start to lower halfway down into a tricep push-up. Tricep push-ups are where our elbows and our arms are pinned to our sides. Shoulders are never dipping below the elbows. And then we flip our toes, straighten the arms, press our chest forward, broaden the collarbones for upward facing dog. Knees are lifted off of the mat here. Take a slight bend, unlike really bending or straightening the elbows here. See if you can keep a soft bend in the elbows. I tend to do that. I tend to hyperextend the elbows, which I shouldn't be doing. Soft bend in the elbows. And then using the strength of your core and your arms, you're going to press into the mat to lift your hips high, flip your toes along the way, and press back in a downward facing dog. So those are your two options there. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Inhale. And then as you exhale, step your right foot to meet your right hand forward. So right toes are behind the right wrist. You're going to widen your stance slightly, drop the left heel down so that your foot is at an angle, left foot is at an angle. And then you're going to start to reach your arms forward and up, rising for warrior one. So our feet are on like train track positions here. So their stance is a little bit wider. We're pressing into the outer edge of the left foot, seeing if we can square our hips towards the front of the room. So you can take your right hip down and your left hip forward, and then check to make sure that your right knee is right above your right ankle. And then arms come up overhead. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more breath, inhale. And then exhale, start to hinge forward, reach your arms forward and down to frame your right foot. You're going to step that right foot back and then move through that variation of vinyasa, either lowering onto your knees, down to your belly, or shifting forward, lowering into the chaturanga tricep push-up, coming into upward dog or low cobra.
And then pressing back to downward facing dog. Inhale, breath. And then as you exhale, step your left foot forward behind your left wrist. You're going to drop that right heel down, widen your stance a little bit. So right heel is down, right foot is at an angle. Start to reach forward and rise all the way up for warrior one on the other side. See if you can take your shoulders down your back to create some space between your shoulders and your ears. So we don't want to be totally shrugging our ears up. Just find a little bit of space there. And again, we want to see if we can work towards squaring the hips towards the front of the room. So see if you can get that left hip down and the right hip forward, and then bend into that left knee. Put a lot of pressure into that outer edge of the right foot. Arms come up overhead. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, start to reach forward. Place the palms on the mat. Step that left foot back to meet the right. And then moving through your variation. Lowering halfway or all the way down. Inhaling into upward cobra or upward dog or low cobra. And then pressing back to downward dog as you exhale. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, start to walk your feet forward towards the front of your mat. As you inhale, come into that halfway lift. And then as you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. The arms come up overhead. Oh, sorry, chair pose. No, we're sitting in a chair, so sit your hips low. Sorry about that. Sit your hips low, arms come forward. Inhale, breath. Exhale. Weights in the heels, toes can be lifted. You can see your toes. Pull your navel in towards your spine. Inhale. And then exhale, rise to standing. We're going to do that one more time through a little bit faster, and then move through a little bit more of a standing sequence, and then we'll pull down again. As you inhale, sit your hips low in the chair pose. Weight is in the heels, arms come forward. Pull your navel in towards your spine. Take an inhale breath. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, plant your hands on the mat, step back for high plank pose, and then move through your variation. Either lowering halfway or all the way down. Inhaling into your back bend of choice. And then exhaling to downward facing dog. As you inhale, step your right foot to meet your right wrist. Drop the left heel down. Rise for warrior one. Work towards squaring the hips towards the front of the room. Inhale, breath. Exhale out. Inhale. Now as you exhale, start to frame your front foot with your hands. Place the palms down, step that right foot back, lowering halfway or all the way down. Inhaling into upward cobra or upward dog or low cobra. Pressing back to downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot forward behind your left wrist. Drop the right heel down. You're going to rise for warrior one on the other side. Inhale through the nose. And exhale out. Inhale. And then exhale, start to reach your arms forward. Place the palms on the mat. Step the left foot back, lowering halfway or all the way down. Inhaling into upward dog or low cobra. Pressing back to downward facing dog. Inhale through the nose. And exhale out. Inhale. And then exhale, walk your feet forward towards the front of your mat. Inhale, come into that halfway lift. And then exhale, fold. Inhale into chair pose. So sit your hips low. Adjust your feet to where they need to go. And reach your arms forward and up. Hips are seated low. Weights in the heels. Wiggle the toes if you can. And then rise to stand all the way up. Okay, so we're going to move through a couple sequences pretty quickly. So just pay attention or listen to my cues, and we'll just move through this a little bit faster to just get the body warmed up and blood flowing a little bit. So as you inhale, we're going to come into chair pose. So Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, you're gonna start to sweep that right arm down and back, coming into an open arm twist towards the right. So our arms are in sort of this T position, but we're still in chair. So see if you can sit your hips a little bit lower, but we're in this open arm twist. So you should feel a nice opening in that right shoulder here. Take an inhale breath. And then exhale, reach your arms forward again. And then as you inhale, you're gonna start to sweep that left arm down and back and take the right arm forward. So we're opening up the twist on the other side. So we're gonna do that with this flow in the beginning. We're gonna inhale into the twist, exhale forward, inhale, twist on the other side, exhale forward, okay? So we're in the left side twist. Take a big inhale breath here. And then as you exhale, we're gonna come forward, take an inhale in chair, and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come into that halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to high plank. Lowering halfway or all the way down, inhaling into upward or low cobra. Exhaling to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, start to take your right knee towards your right elbow. Inhale, take it back up to that three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to left elbow. So cross it underneath you. Inhale, take it back to three-legged dog. And then this time we're going to take our right knee to our right elbow again, and then just gently place that right foot behind your right wrist. Drop the left heel down. We're rising for warrior one. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Reach behind you and clasp your hands behind your back. So take your and then pull your shoulder blades together, and then see if you can straighten the arms. We're going to start to hinge forward and bow forward for humble warrior. So here, I'm seeing if I can square my shoulders towards the floor, and I'm dropping my head down towards the mat, and I'm reaching my arms overhead. You can, if this is a really challenging pose for you, you can sort of rest your chest on top of your right thigh, but see if you can keep your hips square towards the front of the mat. Take one more deep breath in. And then as you exhale, slowly start to rise. Arms come up overhead, inhale. Clasp the hands together. Release the pointer finger and the thumb. And then start to reach your arms up towards the ceiling, and then draw a line with your finger back behind you. We're trying to come into a little bit of a back bend here. Pull your belly in towards your spine, reach your arms up even higher. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, release the grip of the hands, start to reach forward. Frame your front foot with your hands, step your right foot back, high plank, and then lowering halfway or all the way down. Inhaling into upward or low cobra. Exhaling to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, left knee to left elbow. Inhale, take it back to three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee to right elbow. Inhale, take it back for three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. And then gently place that left foot behind the left wrist. Drop the right heel down. Rise for warrior one. Inhaling through the nose. And exhaling out. Take your hands behind you, clasp your hands, pull your shoulder blades together, and then straighten the arms. Start to bow forward. We're coming into humble warrior on the other side. So again, we want to try to see if we can square our hips towards the floor. And then see if you can rest. You might be able to rest your left shoulder, your left chest on your left thigh. Pull your navel in towards your spine. Take one more deep breath in. And then as you exhale, very slowly start to rise. Unclasp the hands, reach the arms up overhead. Clasp the hands, release the pointer finger and the thumb. Reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling, and then start to draw a line backwards for a nice little back bend here. Take a deep breath in. See if you can reach your chest up towards the ceiling. Like you have a string attached to your sternum, and it's pulling you upwards. One more deep breath in. And then exhale, gently release the hands, reach forward, place the palms on the mat, framing the front foot, step your left foot back, high plank, lowering halfway or all the way down. Inhaling into upward dog or low cobra. Exhaling into downward facing dog. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. One more time, inhale. And then as you exhale, walk your feet forward towards the front of your mat. Inhale, come into that halfway lift. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale right into chair pose. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, open arm twist towards the right. So we're swinging that right arm back, left arm forward. Inhale here. And then exhale, reach your arms forward. Inhale, sweep the left arm back. Open arm twist towards the left. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, start to reach your arms forward. Inhale through the nose. And then exhale, bow or fold forward for forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, plant your hands on the mat, step back for high plank. Lowering halfway or all the way down. Inhaling into your back bend. Exhaling the downward dog. Inhale, sweep the right leg up towards the ceiling. So right heel towards the ceiling. Exhale, take your right knee towards your right elbow. Inhale, take it back for three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to left elbow. Inhale, take it back to three-legged dog. Inhale, right knee to right elbow. Place the right foot down behind your right wrist. Drop the left heel down, rise for warrior one. Inhale through the nose. And exhale out. Start to reach your arms behind you, clasping the hands together. Pull your shoulder blades together. Broaden at the collarbones. Straighten the arms any amount. And then start to hinge forward for humble warrior. And dropping the head down. Pull your navel in towards your spine. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. One more breath in. Exhale, slowly start to rise. Arms come up overhead. Inhale, clasp the hands, release the pointer and the thumb. And then as you inhale, see if you can reach the fingers even higher and then draw a line on the ceiling behind you. Maybe you drop the neck back, drop the head back. Inhale, breath. And then exhale, release the hands, start to reach your arms forward. Place the palms on the mat, step the right foot back, lowering halfway or all the way down. Inhaling into your back bend. Exhaling to downward dog. Inhale, reach your right heel towards the ceiling, right leg towards the ceiling. Exhale, take your left knee to your left elbow. Sorry, did I say right leg? Your right, reach your right, left leg up. Your left leg is up. Got it. And then left knee to left elbow. Inhale, take it back to three-legged dog. And then exhale, left knee to right elbow. Press it underneath you. Inhale, take it back for three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Place the left foot behind your left wrist. Drop the right heel down. Rise for warrior one. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out. Inhale, clasp your hands behind you. Pull your shoulder blades together, open up at the collarbones, extend those arms straight, and then start to bow forward for humble warrior. Deep breath in through the nose, and deep breath out. In through the nose. And then as you exhale, slowly start to rise all the way back up. Arms come up overhead. Inhale, clasp the hands, release the pointer and the thumb. Reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling and then draw the line back as you exhale. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out. One more breath in. And then exhale, release the clasp with the hands, reach your arms forward, frame your front foot with your hands, step your left foot back, high plank, lowering halfway down or all the way down, inhaling into upward dog or low cobra, exhaling into downward facing dog. Deep breath in through the nose. And this time, open mouth, exhale. In through the nose. And open mouth, exhale. One more time, inhale through the nose. And open mouth, exhale. Walk your feet forward. Take your feet out as wide as your mat with your toes sort of angled outwards. You're going to sit your hips low. We're coming into Malasana or this Buddha squat. And you may need, this is challenging for you to keep your back straight here. You may need to place a pillow or a block if you have it underneath your sit bones. So like this, so then you can sit upright in this position. So I'll show you where I'm at right here. So in Malasana or this Buddha squat, we're sitting low in the hips and we take our elbows on the inside of our knees. You're pressing your knees into your elbow at the same time that you're pressing your elbow into your knee. So you're sort of creating this opposite resistance and then pressing into the hands at the same time to broaden at the collarbones and push your sternum towards your thumbs. So we're trying to push our chest forward. We're trying to take our shoulder blades down our back. And you should feel this nice deep stretch in your inner thighs, inner groin. Deep breath in. And then as you exhale, if you have a block, you're going to remove it from underneath you. Start to just sit your hips back. And you may need to, we're going to come just seated on our butt. You just may need to roll yourself backwards. Let me see where we're at. Okay. Have a pillow or a block nearby. We're going to come to all the way down to our backs again. And then you're going to bend the knees and place the soles of your feet flat onto the mat. Actually, I'm not going to do that. Okay. So reach down. You're going to see if you can scoot your hips forward towards your heels. So the feet should be about hips width distance apart. Knees should be in the same angle as your ankles, facing forward, feet are facing forward. See if you can scoot your hips forward towards your heels so that when you reach down with your arms, you can actually graze your heels with your fingertips. Place your palms face down next to you. We're going to come into bridge pose. So as you inhale, you're going to press into the feet using the strength of your legs and your glutes. Lift your hips up high. And then I want you to wiggle your shoulder blades together underneath you so that you're resting less on your neck and more on your the muscles in your shoulders. And then press your hips up high. Press into the back of your head to keep your neck long. See if you can keep your knees straight. And then maybe, if you'd like, you can clasp your hands underneath you and then wiggle your shoulders even further together underneath you and press into the floor using your forearms and your hands to lift your hips up even higher. Try to keep your knees straight. Press into the feet. Squeeze the glutes. Squeeze the quads. Keep going. Keep lifting a little bit higher if you can. And breathe here. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. One more time, inhale. If you have your hands clasped, as you exhale, unclasp them, and very, very slowly, as we exhale, we're going to lower all the way down at one vertebra at a time. Very slowly, just take your time getting back down there. Whew. Okay, take a deep inhale breath and draw your knees in towards your chest. Excuse me. So we're going to try something here. We're going to try a shoulder stand into plow if you'd like. But the really, really important thing in a shoulder stand is that we're not putting pressure on our cervical spine, which is this part of our neck here. It's this up here. So in order to do that, you have to pull your shoulders together, pull your shoulder blades together, exactly how we did it in bridge pose, where we were resting more on our shoulders than we were on our neck. And then the other thing that I recommend is having a blanket. And think about this for a second. So you have a blanket underneath your shoulders, and you may need to fold it a few times. I have it sort of folded thicker like this, and I'm going to rest my shoulders on top of this, so that the pillow or the blanket is like my shoulders, and my neck is completely. I have space between the floor and my neck. My shoulders are lifted off of the mat. So I highly, highly, highly recommend putting a blanket underneath here. And then shoulder stand, we take our hips, or we take our legs up overhead, like legs up the wall pose. And you sort of swing your legs up and take your legs back, and then take your hands at your low back. So when you're in this, you should have, your neck should not be touching the ground at all. You do not want your cervical spine to touch the ground. So then wiggle your shoulders together so that you can get your hands at your low back, and slowly you can straighten the legs. And then press into the back of the head as well to keep your neck calm. You can get your legs up overhead. We want to try to get our hips over our shoulders as much as we can. And then see if you can pull the elbows together behind you. And then if you're ready, if you want to go into plow pose, you can drop your feet backwards, but only if you're comfortable, and only if your neck is not touching the mat. And then to exit, you just roll yourself back down, and then remove the blanket underneath. And I think that's it. So we're going to come into our final resting pose. So take your legs out straight in front of you. And actually, you have some pillows nearby. Take your pillows, take one pillow or two pillows, and place them underneath your thighs like this, so that you can release the lower back a little bit. So pillows are underneath the thighs, and then take your shoulder, or lift your shoulder blades off of the mat, pull them together underneath you. Arms come next to your sides. And then make sure you have a nice long neck, so space between your shoulders and your ears. And then go ahead and close your eyes. And start to notice anywhere in the body that you're holding onto any sort of tension, or you're squeezing, or you're gripping, or something. Just notice if there's anywhere that you're doing that from head to toe. Just let go of that tension, let go of that squeezing or that gripping. And let go of the breath. Just enjoy this final resting pose. Just stay here for as long as you'd like. A couple more minutes, but stay here as long as you want. And thank you for joining me this morning.